In a world flooded with empty promises and fake guarantees, Technovalley stands apart, built on trust, integrity, and real-world impact. We don't just promise jobs, we create real professionals with skills the industry demands. For over 8 years, Technovalley has empowered 10,000 plus students with 140 plus world-class IT certifications. As a NASSCOM member and NASSCOM Future Skills Prime Partner, we work closely with the best in the industry to deliver cutting-edge skills. Our empanelment with the Kerala Knowledge Economy Mission, 𝐁𝐾𝐜 and Kerala Startup Mission, both initiatives backed by the Government of Kerala, reinforces our commitment to providing students with industry-aligned, entrepreneurship-driven training. This collaboration ensures that you're not just prepared for a job, you're equipped to innovate, lead, and be future-ready in an ever-evolving global tech landscape. Industry leaders don't ask who trained you, they ask what you can do. At Technovalley, we focus on developing problem solvers, innovators, and tech experts who can hit the ground running. Our placement assistance policy isn't about false guarantees. It's about real preparation. 100% placement support helps. You land the opportunities you deserve by building skills that the global industry trusts.
In a world where cyber threats evolve every second, who's protecting the digital frontier? Enter 𝐶 Council, the global leader in cybersecurity certification and training. With world-renowned programs like Certified Ethical Hacker, Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator, and more, 𝐶 Council trains the cyber defenders of tomorrow. Trusted by governments, corporations, and professionals in over 140 countries. Want to build a future-proof career in cybersecurity? It starts here. _𝐶 Council, hack the right way.
Good evening to all of you. I am 𝐁𝐞𝐾𝐸𝐪, Managing Director of Technovalley Software India Private Limited. As you know, almost 35 lakh jobs are available across the world in cybersecurity careers. And if you look at the job profile, there are many types of job profiles cybersecurity domain is actually asking for. And in US, you are going to get almost 1 crore as your initial starting salary. Technovalley has been started the cybersecurity certification way back from 2016, and we are a pioneer company offering the very first cybersecurity certifications in Kerala. We have almost upskilled almost 10,000 plus students, and we have placed them in very big organizations. Technovalley is actually operating in India, Africa, and Middle East, and we are the very first 𝐶 Council partner in Kerala. With proud, I would like to welcome Ms. Sujitra Menon. She is the manager 𝐶 Council India, and she will be taking up a very, very important session for you, how you can get employment before you getting passed out. And thank you so much, and I welcome Sujitra Menon.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome, Rajesh, and the Technovalley team. I'm so glad to be a part of this webinar over here. So without wasting much time, what I think is I will get into this, right? So a very good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you who have joined over here. I can see more than 100 participants over here, and it is very overwhelming for me to, have all of you join in over here, because I know the only reason late in the evening all of us sitting over here is to understand about, how we can make a career in cybersecurity, how we can be job ready, and how can we achieve our dreams in cybersecurity. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. Whether you're a student exploring career options, a working professional looking to upskill, or someone planning a transition into cybersecurity, this session is designed with you in mind. So today's discussion or topic about, how we can become employable with 𝐶 Council certifications, and I'm also going to be talking about the certification track, It is not just about earning a certificate. It is about answering a very real question. Many learners struggle with, how do I become industry ready and employable in today's cybersecurity job market? Do we all agree? We are all here. We are doing these certifications. We are getting all of these hands-on practices and everything done so that we can get that particular job that we are aiming for, right? So how do we get ready for it? We're going to understand through this session. Trust me, guys, cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing domains globally. Yet organizations consistently report a shortage of skilled professionals, not because of lack of degrees, but because of lack of practical job-ready skills. Employers today are looking for professionals who can think like attackers, defend like security analysts, and respond like incident responders from day one. This is exactly where EC Council certifications play a critical role. EC Council is a globally recognized cybersecurity body known for certifications like CEH, CHFI, CND, SOC Analyst, and many more, which are trusted by enterprises, governments, and academic institutions worldwide. What sets us apart is our hands-on real-world approach, combining theory, labs, simulations, and industry-aligned skill frameworks. So in today's session, what we'll do is we'll understand what employers really look for in cybersecurity professionals. We'll explore how EC Council certifications map directly to job roles. We'll also discuss about learning pathways for students and working professionals. And most importantly, we will understand the different types of threat landscape, what is the problem in the market, and I will also help you identify how you can make yourself employable and not just certified, right? So this session is basically meant to give you clarity, direction, and confidence so you can take informed steps towards building a successful career in cybersecurity. So I encourage all of you to stay engaged, make notes, and ask questions. By the end of this webinar, you should walk away with a clear understanding of where you stand today and what your next step should be. Once again, welcome to the session, and let's get started on your journey to becoming job ready with EC Council certification. I'm going to quickly share my screen so that you can have a look at what I'm trying to show you guys. Okay. So we are here to talk about careers in cybersecurity and how to be job ready, which I already told you guys, right? But also I am going to give you industry insights and the growth opportunities, because we just don't want to get certified and get a job and then just, sit in that particular job. We also need to know how can we navigate the expanding landscape of cybersecurity careers, right? We'll also talk about where demand and supply opportunities are there. This also explores all the critical industry trends, the emerging threats, and the strategic pathways to build a successful career in this high-stakes field. So let's begin by talking about the cybersecurity crisis, right? Do you even know, while I started this particular presentation, I gave you that introductory, speech, if I may use the word. There were multiple attacks that were already happening at some point or in some place in the world. So every 39 seconds, a cyber attack is happening or a breach is happening somewhere in the world, which is creating a constant demand for cybersecurity professionals, right? So there is a huge job market that is available out there. The biggest problem is there is a skill gap. So when I say skill gap, you might ask me, okay, what about the people who are currently sitting, in the CISO role or in the cybersecurity job roles out there? These people are equipped with the tools that are required. They have the knowledge what needs to be done, but the problem is skill. Now, somebody who did their education in cybersecurity or computer science way before, say, 2020, way before 10 years, 12 years, 20 years ago, they do not have the skills that is required currently in the market. And that is one of the main reasons the human element remains the most common threat vector, which is accounting to 82% of data breaches. And this basically highlights a critical need for training so that we can be up with the required skills for any type of attack or any type of breach that happens. And also, do we know that, approximately 26% of websites face compromise every single month? Imagine that, right? So there is a persistent nature of cyber threats. Anytime, anywhere, any website or any organization or any individual can fall prey. So, it is not a question of if, but when, right? So moving forward, let's, I'm putting in front of you a regional cybercrime search, right? So we're all from India. I'm assuming, nobody's from outside India. So I want to talk about, what exactly is happening in India, because through the slide or, through whatever details I'm giving you, we might be talking about, everything that is happening around the world. But do you even know that there has been a dramatic escalation that has happened in Haryana recently? Haryana has witnessed a staggering 5,000% jump in cybercrime, guys. Imagine, since 2019, there has been a 5,000% jump in cybercrime, which basically means the state cyber cell saved rupees 4 crore in public money from cyber criminals in September alone, which is 3 months before. And this exponential growth in cyber incidents creates so much opportunities for all the trained cybersecurity professionals in both public and private sectors. Forget about public and private sectors. We need trained cybersecurity professionals in government organizations. There are a lot of government organizations who are looking for people with the required skills who can actually protect our country. So it is not just about organizations or individuals. It is also about government looking out for these kind of people. But if we have to talk about, the value chain, you might ask me, we are just talking about, the cyber crimes and all of that, but how does it concern the value chain? Let's have a look. When I say value chain, it means there are 3 different types of, chain or ecosystem when it comes to any organization. There is on the top executive leadership. In the middle there we have the security and IT teams, and then the first leg, or I will not call it the last leg, because these are the general workforce which comprise of the maximum number of people, which has different kinds of business functions like the HR, the sales, marketing, legal, finance, customer support, and every single individual who is contributing towards the growth of the organization, right? Now, there is cyber threat in all the chains, but do you even know the security and IT team who are in between need to take care of the executive leadership and also the general workforce? And therefore, the cybersecurity threat landscape spans every single sector, geography, and organizational level. From financial services to healthcare, from government agencies to educational institutions. So we might think that, cybersecurity is something wherein, big MNCs or these kind of organizations or IT organizations or consulting firms will probably use, people from cybersecurity. No, we are wrong. Every single sector, even, banks, forget about banks, okay? These are banks obviously will use it. But what about healthcare? These big hospitals that are there, they need cybersecurity professionals. Government agencies to protect their data integrity and everything need cybersecurity professionals. Colleges, educational institutions require that. So no industry remains untouched by the imperative to strengthen digital defenses. So we need to understand that there is a comprehensive threat environment, and we need to take the first step towards building robust career expertise in cybersecurity, mainly ethical hacking, because ethical hacking is where everything starts. We'll talk about it why, but before we jump the gun, we need to ask specific set of questions. The very first question should be, will the jobs you're preparing for exist in future? Right? Because technology keeps evolving rapidly, right? Every single role that you are in, you need to adapt, but also you need to expand based on, specific job titles, the required skill shift, and there are so many new threats that is coming in, right? So previously we did not know there was something called as AI, but when AI came into the picture, we had to skill up. We had to change our defensive technologies. We had to go ahead and integrate with a lot of other things that we did not even think or foresee at that point of time. So we need to see that the certifications that we do, does it actually prepare us for any future job role or any future skills that we would probably require. Now, when you ask this question, the immediate second question would be, what skills do you need for jobs of the future? Right? Beyond all the technical expertise that you might probably have through the certifications and hands-on practice and everything, you will also require critical thinking, continuous learning capacity, communication skills, and the ability to anticipate emerging threat vectors. Now, you may think that, getting a certification will probably land you in a job. Yes, absolutely, you will get a job. But do you know that eventually when you move up the ladder, you will also have to communicate a lot of things to your management. You will have to create reports. You will have to anticipate a lot of things that might happen in future. Now, will a certification give you that? Yes, EC Council certification does that. It will help you in critical thinking, continuous learning, and also it will help you build your communication skills. It is not just about learning how attacking happens, different attack vectors and all of that. You learn a lot more apart from just the skills. And the third and the most important question that you need to ask is, how do you distinguish yourself in this competitive field? Right? Would you think that only a professional certification or hands-on experience would be enough? Like just I explained, you need a lot more. So if you get an answer to these three critical questions whenever you are planning to pursue a certification, and if the answer is yes for all three, then you should definitely 100% go for that certifications. So now, what you're seeing in front of your screen is basically an in-demand expertise in regional workforce gaps. If you look at the global professional shortage, there is a shortage of 4.7 million skilled workers out there in cybersecurity. Can you just even imagine the kind of jobs that are available? And out of this 4.7 million job roles that are available, 64% is from APAC, that is Asia Pacific. Imagine the kind of jobs that are available, but the people who are not being able to fulfill it. That is because people are not taking up certifications. People are not ready for it. There is no security awareness training or organizational cultural development that is happening. People do not know how to monitor their network or have a proper threat detection in place. They don't know how to investigate an incident or have a proper response capable or capability in place. So all of this needs to, for the lack of a better word, all of this needs to be put in place together, and we all need to take up such certifications so that we happen to save whatever can be saved, and we go ahead and reduce the skill gap that is there in order to make the world a safe environment, right? It is kind of like a responsibility that we as people need to fulfill. We might probably not understand this at this point of time as to why am I saying this, but when you are on the job, you will actually know that you doing your work is actually helping the whole organization stay secure and a lot of data, staying secure in place. Now, what is your path forward in the job market? First things first, okay, you will have to build your foundation. You think you doing your graduation or, you pursuing your computer science degree from any college or any university should be enough to build a foundation? Not really. That is just like how you have learned A to Z, like how we begin, our early lives. We first learn the alphabets, then we build 3-letter, 4-letter word, and then we start building small sentences. Similarly, this is just like, you're building your foundation through getting your graduations, but you need to acquire certifications and technical knowledge through structured education programs, right? Once you have built your foundation, the next thing is you need to gain experience. Apply for internships. Go and fight it out in CTF competitions. Go for real world security projects. A lot of organizations will be happy to make you a part of their, real world security projects. So go do that, gain experience. And once you have gained the experience, go for specialization, develop deep expertise in high demand areas. There is a lot of demand for ethical hacking, forensics, cloud security. Go develop your expertise in these areas. And once you are specialized, go ahead and make yourself an advanced, progressed individual. Get into leadership roles, get into consulting positions, or get into technical tracks that require specific specializations, because the opportunity is right now with 4.8 million cybersecurity positions projected worldwide by 2025. As on today, there are 4.8 million positions that are open, and the unemployment in cybersecurity is nearly zero. So if you do these certifications and gain experience, you are 100% likely to be getting a job. Your decision to enter this field positions you at the forefront and one of the most critical and rewarding career paths in the modern technology. How do you navigate your career path in cybersecurity? We just spoke about, right? But we at EC Council believe that, ethical hacking is the best entry point. Our CH certification is the best entry point. But even before I talk about our CH certification, I want to talk about the strategic advantages on why ethical hacking is the best entry point. This is the fastest path to understand hands-on cybersecurity experiences, right? There would be a lot of theoretical security roles, but ethical hackers, by the time they start this particular certification, they immediately engage with real-world vulnerabilities. They know what is problem solving. They practically deal with a lot of vulnerabilities out there. And therefore, this role bridges technical depth with complete business impact. So you understand everything from attack vectors to all the security domains that is there, from bottom to top in an organization, from incident response to security architecture. What happens when you do such a specialty program? There is immediate market value. Organizations will actually prioritize you as a professional who can identify vulnerabilities before attackers exploit them. There is multiple career pathways that you can take from this particular point. From after you complete your CH, you can seamlessly get into the red team, blue team, purple team, wherever you want to get into in cybersecurity, because the CH certification will give you an understanding of overall landscape of cybersecurity, and it will also give you an opportunity for continuous learning, right? So it is not just expertise that remains relevant, it is also an in demand throughout your career. So that is what, and that is why we feel that ethical hacking is the best entry point. Now that we have established, that this is how we need to move forward, and this is probably the certification that you might put your efforts into, let's look at the career path framework, right? We begin with the very, foundation, that is CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, and establish all the core penetration testing methodologies and reconnaissance techniques. Once we have done that, we move on to advanced specialization. And this is where I would like to show you a certification track. So I'm going to quickly stop, showing my screen, and I'm going to share another tab that I have open in my system. Okay. See, these are our widely recognized certification credentials. So we are here at the core, right, where we have CH and CND. Now, once we have completed our CH and understood the very core of it, we will move to a specialization. Now, this specialization can be anything that you want to do in cybersecurity. After your CH, once you gain hands-on practice and, once you gain the real-world scenario expertise, you will be able to decide, or probably you will be in a situation where you know that you want to get into advanced penetration testing, then you get into CPENT. You want to get into forensics. If you're very interested in IR or maybe forensics, you do your CHFI or ECIH. Or if you think I want to get into security operations, that is something that I want to do, then you can get into CSA, that's the Certified SOC Analyst, or maybe CTIA, that is a Certified Threat Intelligence. But if you think I don't want to get into any of this, but I'm more interested or leaning towards cloud, then you can definitely go ahead and do CCSE, that is the Cloud Security Engineer. Once you complete your specialization and be in an organization for quite some time, do a lot of stackable certifications here and there, learn on the job multiple things, then after a couple of years, you're ready to become the executive CISO, which is nothing but an advanced level certification, which will basically give you the job title of a CISO, which is the topmost job in any organization who is leading the cybersecurity. So these certifications are the one that you need to do. This is the career path that you need to transition into, and this is how you will basically move forward. But I would also want to show you something else in terms of the market snapshot of what ethical hacking looks like, because we will begin from there, and then I'm going to take you guys to explaining different pathways on how you can go about. I'm going to just quickly go ahead and share a different slide now. In a moment. Okay, going back to my PPT once again. Right? This screen basically says ethical hacking, the discipline defined. Why does it say the discipline defined? Do we know? Because one, there is authorized security assessment. Ethical hackers basically operate with explicit permission to identify vulnerabilities in system, network, and application. What does that mean? That basically means that they use the same tools and techniques that actually a bad intention or a malicious attack vector or a malicious person would do. But what is the goal? The goal is not to attack, but the goal is to actually defend and strengthen rather than exploiting the weaknesses. That is what they do, and therefore they operate with explicit permission. They also have proactive defense strategy, right? So ethical hackers basically are there to discover the security gaps that are there before cyber criminals do. This is a proactive approach. What happens in return when an ethical hacker does this day in, day out for any organization? There is potential reduction in risk. It will obviously prevent breaches, and it protects valuable assets, including data, infrastructure, and brand reputation. Guys, brand reputation is something that every organization lives for, and only an ethical hacker will be able to go ahead and do this, and nobody else, because they are in the first leg to figure out if in case something can go wrong, or if at all something has already gone wrong. And there is continuous improvement cycle. Now, this practice of ethical hacking involves regular pen testing, vulnerability assessments, and security audits. In turn, finding drive, remediation efforts, security enhancements, whilst creating a robust defense posture. It keeps evolving every single day with all the emerging threats that are out there in the world. What is the market value and career growth when it comes to ethical hacking? Do you even know what is the global median salary? Median salary is nothing but, guys, an average salary out there in the world, right? What basically anybody can get if they become a certified, ethical hacker. Ethical hackers command premium compensation, right? So the global median salary is $143,000. You can probably just see with the kind of, value that dollars is getting at this point of time, you can understand what somebody will be earning in Indian rupees. It is almost 1 crore rupees in a year. That is what would be your remuneration when you become an ethical hacker and get placed with a premium organization. But also, if at all, not everybody will get placed in a premium organization, but if we even get placed in any organization in India, the bare minimum salary would be nothing less than somebody who has 10, 12 years of work experience. I'm talking about lakhs of rupees that you can earn every single month by becoming an ethical hacker. Also, there is a continuous growth rate when it comes to this kind of a job role. 33% is the projected increase in penetration testing roles through 2033. So in the coming next 10 years, there's going to be an increase. So there's going to be higher salaries and there's going to be a lot of vacancies out there for this particular job role. And if you look at Naukri, Monster.com and these kind of, job postings or job listings that are out there, there is a 350% surge in the job postings, which is a rise in this particular position since 2020, because post-COVID is why everything has gone haywire and everything has gone for a toss. And now here we are with 350% surge in job postings specifically for hacking positions, because that clearly reflects the critical industry of the demand. So now you understand the market value and what the career growth looks like when you do ethical hacking. This is just a small market snapshot of what we just spoke about in terms of the industry growth and demand. What is the impact? Ethical hackers earn a median of USD 91,000 with experienced professional commanding over 100,000 USD. If at all you happen to go to Australia, salaries range from 125,000 Australian dollars. Imagine guys, 35% of ethical hackers secured new positions and 26% received promotions directly just because they had the right skills. And this is one of the reasons, just because you have the right skills, organizations actually prioritize ethical hacker, because the cybercrime cost is expected to reach 10.5 trillion US dollars by 2025, which we are kind of ending. So we've already reached, we are not even expected to reach this. We've already reached this, and organizations are heavily investing in preventive security, and ethical hackers are most important to every single organization. Retail and e-commerce sectors now account for 10% of all cybersecurity vacancies. Imagine guys, any organization that you go through, you are employable with the kind of high demand there is and the kind of skills that you basically hold. With that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and I am going to talk about the various certifications that are there, which will basically help you become job ready and career ready, right? So I am going to specifically talk about CEH. We've been talking about CEH, but I'm going to add on something more to it. But with that, I'm also going to talk about CSA, that is the Certified SOC Analyst, and I'm also going to talk about CTIA, that's the Certified Threat Intelligence Analyst, right? This is not just, certifications, but how you actually become job ready and grow in a cybersecurity career, right? We just talked about, how cybersecurity today is one of the fastest growing career domains globally. Every organization, whether it's bank, hospital, IT company, government body or startup, anything that needs cybersecurity professionals. Yet, despite this demand, companies still struggle to hire the right talent. And the reason is very simple. Most students have degrees, many students have theoretical knowledge, but very few are truly industry ready. That is where the right certification and most importantly, the right learning pathway make all the difference. So let me start with CH, the Certified Ethical Hacker. So CH is often the first big milestone for anyone entering cybersecurity. What this certification does is it changes the way you think. Instead of only learning how systems should work, you start learning how systems are attacked. You learn how hackers exploit vulnerabilities, how phishing works, how networks are compromised, and how real-world attacks are carried out. This is critical because organizations today want professionals who can think like attackers but work as defenders. With CEH, students become eligible for roles like security analyst, ethical hacker, junior penetration tester, right? So from a career perspective, CEH gives you entry into the cybersecurity job market. Globally, entry-level roles typically start in the range of around about 12 to 15 LPA in India, around about 75 to 100,000 USD internationally, depending on the skills and hands-on exposure that you have. But CH is just the foundation. You need to start with CH to be able to move forward, right? And once you understand how attack happens, the very next question is, how do we analyze them, investigate them, and the most important, respond to them, right? That's where Certified Security Analyst CSA certification comes in. CSA takes you deeper into real world security operations, right guys? So don't get it confused. Ethical hacking gives you hands-on understanding of the attacks, but CSA gives you real world security operations. You need to know how to operate things, right? You move beyond just identifying vulnerabilities and start learning how attacks are detected, how incidents are investigated, and how organizations respond when something goes wrong. With CSA, you will develop strong analytical thinking, and you will also learn how to analyze logs and alerts, attack patterns. You'll also be able to perform incident response. You'll be able to work in SOC center, guys. We've all seen in movies and, a lot of pictures that come out wherein, there is a lot of data that is there, and, there are big centers where there is so many chips and everything, and people are navigating around, sitting and doing stuff. That is SOC centers. Okay, but trust me guys, when you go to a SOC center and you actually see it, you are going to be astonished, because you would want to work in a SOC operations center when you go there. Because the first time I saw a SOC center, I was really fascinated by it, with how it works, with the way you can actually understand attack patterns. And this certification prepares you exactly for something like this: a SOC analyst, incident response analyst, or a cybersecurity analyst. And professionals with CSA level skills are extremely valuable because they deal with live threats, not theoretical scenarios. Salary wise also, these roles typically range from 18 to 25 LPA in India, and around about 100,000 to 150,000 USD globally as experience grows. But cybersecurity doesn't stop reacting to attacks, right? We've understood what are attacks. We've understood what certification will help us to react or respond to attacks. But the most advanced organizations today want to predict attacks even before they happen. Forget about it has happened and we know what needs to be done, or it is happening and we know what needs to be done. But what needs to be done before it happens? Can anyone tell me what needs to be done before it happens? You can put it on the chat box or something like that. What needs to be done? We need to be able to predict it, guys. So to be able to predict it, the most advanced certification becomes powerful, right? This is where CTIA, Certified Threat Intelligence Analyst, becomes a powerful certification that you should have. CTIA teaches you how to think strategically instead of only and only responding to incidents. You learn how to understand the whole attacker behavior. This is just an advanced version of what you will learn in CEH, right? In CEH, you understand the attacker behavior, but here you will also understand their motivations and their patterns. You will learn how to convert basic raw data into actionable intelligence that will help the organization. A CEH will be able to get in the raw data, but who will be able to convert it into actionable intelligence? A CTIA will be able to do that, so that an organization can prevent any future attacks. Now, threat intelligence professionals can help answer questions like, who's attacking us? What are they likely to do next? Why are they even attacking us? Right? With CTIA, you can also get into roles such as threat intelligence analyst, obviously, cyber threat hunter, security strategist, or risk analyst. These roles are highly specialized and well paid, with salaries often ranging from 25 to 50 LPA in India. Imagine guys, 50 LPA in India, and around about 150,000 to 200,000 USD or more internationally, depending on the experience and the organization. So now the real power comes when you combine CEH, CSA, and CTIA together. They give you technical skills, analytical skills, and strategic thinking. So you just don't become certified, you become career ready. This pathway allows you to stay strong in cybersecurity, grow into mid-level analyst roles, eventually move into senior leadership or specialist positions, and most importantly, it builds confidence, the confidence to walk into interview, handle real-world scenarios, and grow consistently in your career. Because when you attend a cybersecurity interview, the interviewer will not ask you what is your certification, but they will rather ask you, what can you do for us? Show me your expertise, show me your skills. And that is the reason you need to do these kind of certifications. And I hope I was able to explain this good to you. So to close, I want to leave you with this thought. Cybersecurity is not a one-time achievement. I'm repeating that this is not a one-time achievement. It is a journey of continuous learning. And these kind of certifications don't just help you to get your first job. They help you to build a long-term future-proof career in a field that will only and only continue to grow. If you invest in the right skills today, the opportunities tomorrow are limitless, guys. And therefore, I thank you and I wish each one of you great success in your cybersecurity journey. Over to you, Technovalley.